vows of renunciation in June 2000 from Pujya Swamiji, marking her pledge to a life of service, renunciation, purity and devotion.
Param Pujya Swamiji, Param Pujya Ram Bapaji, all of the gathered family, as Bhavat said so beautifully, yes, of course, we have dignitaries with us. And yet, here in this mandir, not just the mandir, it's the physical four walls, but the mandir, the temple of love, of devotion, of unity. The dignitaries become family as well. So the family becomes dignitaries, and the dignitaries become family. It's a wonderful, wonderful honor and blessing and joy to be here with you all, and a particular blessing to be here on the anniversary of the day that we can give thanks that Pujya Swamiji chose to come here. The rest of us take birth because we don't really have much of a choice. And yet, for the saints, it is a choice. And it's a choice that those of us who are his disciples, his devotees, thank him for on a daily basis. And yet, on a day like today, which marks the anniversary of it, it's always a very special time for us to remember to say thank you, and for us to gather together and to say thank you together. The theme of the evening is renew and rejoice. The first question that needs to be asked is, what is it that needs to be renewed? When we talk about renewing ourselves, what is it within us that needs to be renewed? It's certainly not the physical body. The physical body is constantly and continuously renewing, regenerating itself over a period of hours and days and weeks and months. Every cell of our body is regenerating. Our skin cells take merely a matter of a few weeks. Our blood cells take a few months. The cells of our internal organs take a year or two. But within a period of 7, 8, 9 years, every single cell of our body has been renewed, has been regenerated, is brand new. So what is it then that needs to be renewed? Our spiritual connection, our anchoring. Most of us, sadly, look at where we are today, look at any problems that we face, any challenges that we face, and we tend to blame them on things that happened in the past. I was betrayed, I was cheated, I was lied to, I was abused, I was abandoned. And yet, for most of us, all of that took place way more than 7 or 8 or 9 years ago. Which means there's not one single cell in our being today that was betrayed. Not a cell of our being today that was cheated, or lied to, or abused, or abandoned, or neglected. So what is it then? It's nothing more than patterns of energy, habits of energy in our brains that say, I'm a victim. Because if somebody says, well, I was betrayed, or I was cheated, or I was lied to, or I was abused, you say, where is that I? Who who is that person? That person doesn't exist anymore. Every cell that went through that difficulty, every cell that was victimized or treated unfairly or whatever life deals us, is gone. It's been renewed. So all that remains is these patterns of energy in our mind, in our brains, habits of energy that say, I'm a victim, I'm worthless, I'm useless, whatever it is. I'm a failure, I get the short end of the stick. They're just patterns of energy in the brain. And then the question becomes, well, can that also be renewed? Can we also change our brains? Up until 15, 20 years ago, scientists thought the brain couldn't be changed. That after adolescence, when it was fixed, it was too late. At that point, all we could do was medicate or operate. And yet, in the last 10 or 15 years, we've realized it's the exact opposite. The brain is constantly changing, constantly adapting, constantly renewing itself. If I tape these two fingers together for 1 week, my brain will change accordingly. If I'm used to wearing shoes and I go barefoot for 1 week, my brain will change accordingly. If I'm right-handed and I spend a week using my left hand, my brain will change. So many studies tell us that meditation changes the brain. So we know it's possible. The question is, we have to have the courage to do it. The courage to renew. There's a wonderful story of a company in which one day all of the employees of the company show up at work to find a memo on their desk. And the memo on the desk says, the person in this company who was holding you back, who was hindering you, who was responsible for your failures, has passed away. The funeral will be today at 12 noon. Please come to the conference room. And all of the employees are thinking, wow, it's so sad that someone's died, that a fellow colleague has died. But who was it? Who's been holding me back? Who was this person that was the cause of my failures? So at 12 noon, all of the employees file into the conference room. There's soft music, there's flowers, there's a coffin. And as each of them approaches the coffin to look inside, to see the person who sadly they're dead, but thankfully they're dead, who had been holding them back, they look inside the coffin and they see a mirror. And next to the mirror is a sign that says, no one other than you can hinder your progress. No one other than you can hold you back. There's a type of bird called a quail, which I don't know how many there are here. In America, there's lots and lots of them. And they're a beautiful type of bird. But one of the interesting things that quails do is, although they're birds and they can fly, they tend to spend most of the time waddling on the ground in packs. And if you've ever come upon a pack of quails as you're driving, what you'll find is that together in this pack, they waddle and they waddle and they waddle, and the car gets closer and closer. And they start to waddle and waddle faster and faster, more and more panic-like. And not until the moment where the car is actually going to run them over does one of them seem to get this spark that says, I can fly. And suddenly, out of this pack of waddling birds, one of them starts to flap its wings as the car's just about to hit it.